Hello, my name is Derek from Tomcat Gas Training and welcome to episode 4 on All About Taps. And in this episode we're going to concentrate and look at these. So we're going to be looking at mixer taps. So different types of mixer taps and what we should be looking for when we're installing these or even when we're buying them. So as usual, let's get on with it. Now, couple of things to look out for when we're buying these different types of mixer taps, because the UK we have water regulations, so a lot of taps you can buy from the internet don't comply with the water regulations, and one of the principal reasons of that is we drink our cold water here in the UK, so we can't have water's mixing into that to poison the water supply. And it also, we can't have fluid category 1, which is wholesome drinking water, and fluid category 2, which could be hot water, mixing and coming out the same tap. So there are a few things we need to look out for. We also have different pressures here in the UK. So not every house has a combi boiler, so that means their cold water and their hot water are coming direct from the cold water supply. We can have mixed supply where our kitchen sink can have direct cold water, well it has to have direct cold water, and it can have, fed via a cistern and a cylinder, can have indirect hot water. And we can't have those different pressures mixing because our cold water would go back up the hot tap when we opened it if they were mixing in the same tap, and then overflow the cistern in the loft. So how do these taps actually separate the things inside? So if you buy a tap which is a standard for the UK, and it will be tested in the UK to BS-EN 200 2008, and that's the test for seeing whether they're hydraulically pressurized and tested to see whether we get backflow going through the taps. This is a standard deck type mixer tap which you could find on a kitchen sink. We have the hot on the left. Now if you watch part 2, I said about a hot being on the left and right. It's basically a code of practice which came out in about 1965, and it just said that we should try and get the hot tap on the left hand side. It's not in the regulations, but most plumbers think it's a regulation, so they keep them onto the left hand side. But technically you can go left or right. That's why your tap has a red and a blue and a hot and cold on it, because if we didn't, anyway. So what we've got here, we've got the hot on the left and we've got the cold on the right mixing in the same spout, but they don't actually mix in the spout if they comply to the British standards. So what happens is we could have indirect hot water coming here. It would come up through the inlet, so it would come up through here. Then the washer worm would be able to stop the water flow, and then the hot water, when you open the tap, would then flow and it would go through the centre of the tap. It should go through the centre of the tap, and the reason why it goes through the centre of the tap is it gives you, when the cold water's not running, it gives you a little bit of an air gap so you don't burn your hand when you touch the tap spout. That's the idea of it. So that's separated from the cold, and what the cold does is, when you do the same, the cold comes in at the bottom, you open the tap and then the water flows round the outside of the spout. So in the spout there is 2 chambers, one in the middle for the hot water, one on the outside for the cold water. That's how we should be doing this. So let's have a closer look at actually how they do separate the waters in the taps. Now let's first have a look at this monoblock tap. Now if I want to remove the spout, all I do is flick it over and it should pull out, because you should be able to see the little tab there which goes into there. So if I want to put it back in, find the tab, line it up, twist it, and it's back in. Okay, so that's how you get them out, and you can see we have a hole in the middle there and we have a hole there. So if we look at the actual outlet, and I take this off, now this is an aerator and it also catches the dirt, you can actually see, if I get my little torch, so you can actually see you can see it keeps picking my hand up, but there you go. So water comes out of that one there, and water comes out of that one. So that's where your hot comes out, and that's where your cold comes out. So how does it get there? So if we take these out, so you can see if I put that there, you can see it comes through that one there, and if I undo that one, should be able to see it comes through the bottom, which you can. So through the bottom of that one, and that one comes through there. So that's how the water is kept separated. So this tap does not need check valves. So that's the monoblock tap. Let's have a look at the standard deck type mixer tap. Now let's have a look at this deck type mixer tap. So first of all, removing the spout is a little bit different. So when we spin it over, we can see there's a screw. So we need to remove that screw. And now we can split the body from the spout. And again, you can see there's a hole in the center, and there's two slots there, and you can see the O-rings there. So that's why that's broke. You can see why these taps are here, because it was probably leaking through. But that has to line up with that screw hole there. So it's spinning around. So that's pretty much the same. If we look at the, so these will come out, you see these two flats on here, so you can actually get a spanner on here to undo them if they're too tight. And again, that's your aerator. You can see the two sets of holes there. The bigger holes allows indirect water to come through, so it gives you good flow through, and the direct is coming around the outside. So again, the hot is in there. So we get the torch again. So if we have a look, you can see that's where the cold comes in, and then the hot comes through there. So pretty much the same as the monoblock tap, to keep them separated. So let's take these off and have a look. So this is the cold water one. And you can see the cold water goes down there. If you could see that, could you see that? Without my hand being in the way. So it goes down there, and it comes out through there. So that's your cold water. We take the hot water one off. You can see the hot water one goes down there. Will it shine up down the bottom? It comes down there. Will it come through? No, you can't see it. No, light's not strong enough to show through there. But it goes down there and comes out through the bottom there, and then up through. There's like a little dip where it brings it round there. But we can't see the light. Can't see the light. But take my word for it. Goes down there, comes through out there, and then through the centre of there, and then out through the centre of there. So that's your standard deck type mixer tap, which you can put on the baths. Are pretty much, the bath mixer taps are pretty much the same. Now we just had a look now at how this water actually is separated through the spout and through the tap body. But if you buy a non-compliant tap for the UK, there is still something we can do to keep them separated. So if you have a mixer tap which doesn't mix in the spout, out the end of the spout there, and they're not kept separate at all times, then we can put single check valves in. So these single check valves can be installed on the hot and the cold water to stop them passing through to each other, and to stop the cold then going up into the feed system. Now they only need to be single check valves, not double check valves, because it's fluid category 1 and 2 water. It's nothing dangerous and nothing poisonous. So if you install the correct tap for the right situation with the right air gap, so if it's a wash basin we need AUK air gap 2, and if it's a kitchen sink we need an AUK air gap 3, then everything will be tickety-boo if we install these single check valves. So to comply with the water regulations, make sure when you purchase a tap, whether you're a customer or whether you're a plumber, make sure it complies to the water regulations and the British standards, and make sure you're using the right tap for the right application. So after all that, now let's go and have a look at how we strip a mixer tap, which is the cartridge type. Come on then. Now this is the cartridge tap we're going to be having a look at. It has got a bit of a problem. First thing we need to do is turn the water off as usual. So I need to get my flat screwdriver and turn off one on that side and the one on that side, and open the tap, turn it to the left and to the right. So that's the first thing. Next thing we need to do is, I've got a plug here, one of these, not that it pushes in very well, push down plugs, so I've pushed it down. Next thing I need to do is find my towel, my manky towel in the bottom because we don't want to damage it. Now inside here is either a grub screw or with a flat end, or it's actually got an Allen grub screw in there. So first thing I need to do is gently flick off the indicating cover. So we've got that off, and have a look inside. Oh, it's a flat screwdriver one. Lucky I've got a flat screwdriver in my hand. So next thing I need to do is, okay, we're on, and unscrew it till the top comes off. So that's the top off. Now this is just a protective cover, so we can undo that, and underneath here should be quite a big nut. So that's the protective cover off. So now we need an adjustable spanner, so we can now undo this big nut gently. Just a matter of undoing the big nut, and now this cartridge should come off, which it has done. Oh, I can see why it don't work now. It's in 3 pieces. Where's that other bit gone? So it's actually broke up there, and it's got a massive crack inside there. So what I've got to do now is go to the plumbers merchants and see if I can get another cartridge like this, or go on the internet. If I can't find a cartridge exactly the same as this, then it's a new tap. So let's go and see if I can actually get one. So we've got our new cartridge. So on the bottom of the cartridge there are 2 little lugs, and those 2 little lugs have to go into 2 little recesses in the bottom of the tap, and that's what locates the O-rings in the right place. So we just slide that in till it locates, which it has done. We now get our little plasticky retaining nut, and that now screws back into the tap. So that screws back into the tap. We now get our adjustable spanner, and we now tighten that back up, but not too tight because we don't want to crack our new cartridge. So that's now tight. We now get our little plastic shroud, a little decorative shroud over the top of that. We can now get our handle and our flat screwdriver, place it over the top, get it in line, tighten down the grub screw, tight. Put back in our little cover with the temperature, with the hot and cold indicators on, making sure you've got them the right way. We're now, tap moves left and right. We can now turn the water on, take out that, lift up our plug, slowly turn on the water. That one. And there we go. Now, as good as new. Bit of squeaky newness. So, that's how you change the cartridge in these monoblock taps. Now, that is the end of part 4 on All About Taps. So if you've liked this video, why don't you give me that thumbs up or leave a constructive comment down below. If you're not subscribed to our channel, then please subscribe because it helps the channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell because we release videos mainly on Mondays and Wednesdays. All I've got left to say is thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers guys.